Hey, glad you could join me for this DAZ 3D tutorial. Today, we will be going over DAZ Studio Basics. First, I'll walk you through how to install the Studio software and any third-party software from the DAZ Central application. Then, I will walk you through setting up your first character. Let's go to daz3d.com. Once you're here, you will need to create a free account. After your account is created, click the button that says Get Started for free. This will take you to the DAZ Install Manager download page. Click the button that says Free Download. I am using a Windows computer, so I will download the appropriate version. Once it is downloaded, open the install file from your File Explorer. Then, follow the steps to install the DAZ Install Manager. Once it is finished installing, you can click Finish, and this will open the application. Once you are here, log in with the same email and password you used on daz3d.com. Then click Start. Since I already have DAZ Studio installed, it is displayed in my Installed tab. You will not have anything appear here yet. Instead, click the Ready to Download tab here. You can also filter here for the software you want. Just type DAZ Studio and hit Enter. This will display every DAZ Studio version. At the time of posting this video, I am using DAZ Studio 4.24. You can install the same version if you would like, or another version. It's up to you. When you have selected the version you want to download, click the Download button to the right. This will start downloading DAZ Studio. Once the download is finished, you will see it in the Ready to Install tab. It should automatically start installing, but if it does not, just click the Install button to the right. The install process will take a moment. After the application is installed, it will show up in the Installed tab. You can now open the Studio and begin creating. This is DAZ Studio. Your application may look different than mine. If you want to customize how the studio looks, you can click the Window tab, Workspace, and click Select Layout. I have already created a layout that I like, so I will be using that one. The Smart Content tab will display every asset that you own and can use in DAZ Studio. There is a catch with the Smart Content tab, though. It will only display assets that were downloaded or purchased directly from DAZ 3D. If you purchase assets through another website, you will have to manually import them into DAZ, and I will make a tutorial later on how to do that. DAZ Studio comes built in with the Genesis models. The most current Genesis model is Genesis 9. Let's import the Genesis 9 model into our scene. Look for the Genesis 9 Starter Essentials in your Smart Content. Double-click it. This will take you into the Starter Essentials product. Next, click the Figures tab on the left. These are all the free Genesis 9 characters we can use. I will use the default Genesis 9 character. Once you have double-clicked the character you want and it loads in, it will display in the Scene tab. Hold down Control, Alt, and the left mouse button. This is the hotkey to rotate the camera around the scene. Next, hold Control, Alt, and the right mouse button to move the camera around the scene. If you press Control and F, this is the hotkey to center the camera on the selected object. Make sure your character is selected in the Scene tab to the right. Scrolling on the mouse wheel will zoom in and out. These are the basic hotkey controls for DAZ Studio. Now, you are probably wondering why our character is gray. This is because the character does not have a material assigned to it. To assign a material to the character, we need to go to the Materials tab on the Starter Essentials product. There are a lot of options in this tab, but you want to look for the option that says All Matte. This is an example of that here. Make sure your character is selected, then double-click on the All Matte Material option. Now our character is starting to look more human. Next, let's add some clothes to our character. This is easy. Click on the Wardrobe tab in the Starter Essentials product. There are a couple options, but I will give my character a shirt and shorts. Make sure your character is still selected, and then double-click on the shirt option here. Then double-click on the shorts option after. Next, let's change the color of the shirt and shorts. If we go back to the Materials tab and scroll down, we will find materials that are made for the clothing. Before we click to add the materials, we need to make sure our shirt or shorts are selected. At the moment, we still have our character selected. To select our shirt, we need to click this small arrow in the Scene tab on the right. This will open a drop-down menu that displays everything that is attached to our character. Look for the G9 base shirt object and select it. Once it is selected, you can double-click the shirt material you want. This will change the shirt's material. Do the same thing with the shorts by selecting it in the Scene tab. Then select the shorts material you want. Now our character has some clothes. The next thing we need is to add hair to our character. There is a tab in the product that's called Hair. If we click that tab, we will see some options for hair. Make sure your character is selected again, and then we can double-click the hair option we want to use. If you want, you can go back to the Materials tab, make sure your hair is selected in the Scene tab, and then change the color of the hair by assigning a material to it. The next thing we should do is change our character's position. We can manually edit the character's pose by clicking individual joints and then moving them with the Move tool or the Rotate tool. This can be very time-consuming. So for now, let's select our character and click the character icon here. Then click Restore Figure Pose. This will bring our character back to the A pose. Daz has a great option to quickly put your character into a pre-designed pose. You can see all the built-in poses in the Poses tab of the Starter Essentials product. There is a lot to choose from, but I will select this one. You will see that it is applied to our character. Next, we need to add a camera to our scene. This step is optional, but it is good practice when we go to render our image. In the top of the screen, we can click this camera icon to add a camera. Just click Accept to create it. Now, we can click this drop-down menu up here. This menu is how we can switch between different perspectives and different cameras. I will select the camera option, which is the camera that we just created. After I have selected the camera, we need to position the camera to the desired position. Make sure to save your scene throughout each step to make sure you don't lose anything. Now that we have our camera and character positioned, we are ready to render the scene. Click the Render Settings tab here. You can adjust the size of your image here by adjusting pixel amounts. Next, we need to make sure the Render Mode under the Render Mode tab is set to Photo Real. Then, in the Progressive Render tab, we can adjust the quality of our rendered image. I will show you my favorite settings here to achieve good results. In the Optimization tab, I like to change the instancing optimization from Auto to Speed. This will potentially speed up render times. The last thing we need to do before rendering is to preview the render. Daz Studio lets you preview an Iray render by clicking this drop down here. Then select the last option, here. In NVIDIA Iray, this will do a quick render in the Scene tab. It looks pretty good to me. Let's change it back to the default texture view. Now, we are ready to click Render. You can either click it here or click the camera icon here to begin a render. This window will pop up here, and we can watch the render progress. When the render is done, the Name text box will become available and ask you to name the file before you save it. Let me name it, and then we can go to our File Explorer and view our image. Our renders are saved to the folder location here. In the Render Library folder, let's see our image. You can adjust settings to your liking. If you want a higher quality image, you can adjust the settings in the Progressive Render tab. I will also show you how to add lighting, background colors, and other objects to the scene. Remember to keep in mind that the more objects you have in a scene, the longer your render will take. Anyways, that is a very basic tutorial of Daz Studio. I will go into more detail on other cool features of Daz on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Comment below if you want me to cover anything specific. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.